Yo, what's that word? It's that 3012 in the podcast, y'all. Back with another episode Big 60. How y'all guys doing tonight, man?
Doing good, doing good.
Yes,
A little
sir.
sick as
Good.
hell on camera. Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
I feel that. All right, man. We got a array of topics tonight. Got some football, some basketball, NBA free agency, and some signings. We're gonna start off with the IFAF U20 World Championship Football League. It was the semifinals where Japan takes down USA, man, in a real football American League style. This man stayed branding everything. um, Send a check out here, man. We need y'all. Uh, how y'all feel about Japan coming into they're pretty around the same age. A lot of the guys were either max 20 all the way down to 17. Japan beating the USA in a football game. How you feel, bro?
First of all, I feel like that's some insane type shit. Like I really think that's super embarrassing. Quite possibly worse than Pearl Harbor. Um, Honestly, I don't get it, bruh. Like I don't get. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. And you know when people say that they about to get disrespectful, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I had to look more at the rosters. But the average sized Japanese person versus the average sized American person, there's typically a difference there. And when we say football, we're not talking about soccer. This is real American football. We know football is the biggest sport in America. It's not even close. For them to lose in any capacity, I hope it's not a situation kind of how basketball was, where it seems like the best players are coming from other places in the world, as we saw with the NBA draft and obviously Joker, Embiid, Luka, Giannis, Wemby. All these guys are the best players in the world, and I don't think it's gonna happen like that with football. I hope it don't, but at the same time, we know that they want to globalize the game, and ultimately, maybe 20 years from now, when we're a bit older, maybe it will be a globalized game. Maybe we will be watching pro games in London, Mexico, Japan, and all these other places. So, I, now that I say it out loud, I do take an interest in that. But overall, I do think it's a travesty, and it's quite embarrassing. But it is what it is.
Most definitely. Clear. How you feel,
Uh,
man?
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't really keep up with stuff like that, but I mean, since it happened, obviously it's like some important news that I seen. It's really much a disappointment because at first I seen it. I was looking at some of the comments talking about, oh, it's flag football that they were playing. So I was like, oh, so maybe it's not that big of a deal. We don't have like Tyreek Hill or anybody out there as it is under 20. Um, but then when I seen that it was tackle football and that they got 21 house in a semifinal game where honestly, I don't feel like any team, no matter what age group football wise, compares to the USA right now. I said it was shocking, it was disappointing. Hopefully that's not something of like years to come that it keeps happening. Because the basketball scene, France and all that, and other teams from all over the world are now starting to catch up to the USA. Um, and then just kind of seeing a little bit of the highlights, seeing Japan's running back getting off on these dudes, bro. It was kind of like I was playing my Madden my career mode the way he was getting off. So kudos to Japan, USA football. We got to do better, man.
Yeah, man. 40-20 is 41-20 is ridiculous. Japan led 27-7 at half. Uh, Japan's running back 17 touches, 158 yards, two touchdowns. He was just beasting on the USA youth. Uh, Dude was he's only 5'9", 5'10". 182 pounds.
Shout out to Short King.
Just beasting. Shout out to him, Tai Sui. He was just doing his thing out there, number 2, looking splat. He just dominated. The defense of the USA, they just looked like they couldn't do anything. Like they couldn't stop this man from running. They couldn't get in the backfield. They did a couple good plays. But on offensive wise, they spread the love. But as of the defensive wise, they couldn't do anything against this Japanese offense. And that running back, he just ran the ball down their throat. Like I said, 17 touches, 158 yards. That is, that's wild out here.
Yeah.
That's almost about 6-7 yards per carry. Like, like probably a little bit more. And that's like just math right off the head, not even trying to calculate it. But hopefully it's not more to come. Like these gentlemen were saying, the basketball scene on the other hand of the national sports, the NBA is being caught up by other nationalities, other countries. Football could possibly be next, which is ridiculous. When we had a head start, well ahead. So 50 something years. So it'll be crazy. Yeah, it'll be crazy to see them actually catch up. So, yeah. Shout out to the Japan. Go ahead, bro.
No, I will say too. I think I forgot what I was about to say, but you can't have a Japanese. And again, I probably shouldn't even say. I probably should learn the name of their team, but it's like, bro, this man is out there putting Jamal Lewis, O.J. Simpson, Jerome Bettis type numbers up on the USA. And it's like, thing about it is football is a truly American sport. Like other people from other countries don't even like that we call it football. Like I get it. Soccer, hockey, tennis, all them belong to other people. Like Canada got the hockey, soccer is everywhere. And then all that other stuff is probably, Australia, Europe, and all that stuff. Yeah. NBA was kind of American sport too. And I still consider it an American sport, but we saw how that happened. It's tall people everywhere. Football is inherently American. Football brings the racism out of people. That's how American it is. Like when Colin Kaepernick kneeled, it really felt dangerous outside type situation. So with me saying that's my piece on it, man. It can't, I don't want to lose it. It's truly American.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's the only sport America never took and remixed.
And just to go off of what Byron said about how many yards he averaged per carry, he averaged about 9.3 yards. He almost averaged the first down per carry.
Dang,
that's crazy. That's crazy to me. They had the man looking like Nelly out here from the longest yard.
You're so fast. You make fast players look not fast.
Yeah. And my boy Khalil mentioned his Madden. With that, I would like to also say, man, y'all get in tune. NCAA is about to come out. Madden about to come out too. You know what I'm saying? We've been talking about these leagues. We gonna work on that. We got stuff to chop up about that. But hey, get in tune, man. We gonna have something for y'all, and I hope y'all like what we gonna produce out of that. And that's all I'm gonna say for now.
Facts. Get in. Drop your gaming tags. Yes, we're gonna move on, man. NBA draft just happened recently, and a lot of the players, I'm pretty sure a lot of us didn't even know them. Shout out to a lot of those guys like Alisar who got drafted. But I mean, all the hype, all the media was around Bronny James. He went to the Lakers, number 55 pick in the second round, first ever child-father duo in the NBA. How do you feel about that, Khalil?
I mean, a lot of people from comments that I've seen are like hating on Bronny, hating on LeBron. But I kind of see it as this, like if I'm a father and I'm in a position where, I can make it easier for my child to succeed, I'm going to do it. I mean, that's just what you do as a father. And as I see, LeBron's using his push in his name to get his son to where he needs to be. It's not like Bronny's a bad player. I personally just felt like he needed a little bit more time in college to develop. But for him and his son to be on the same team, it's definitely, like I said, it's the first time it's ever happened. It's something historic, something that we'll see how it plays out. But I mean, salute to LeBron, salute to Bronny. Go ahead and chase your dreams.
Me.
I really think it's kind of the whole narrative is lame that I see people hating on Bronny for the simple fact of if it wasn't LeBron James' son, the whole narrative would be flipped and saying, wow, a dude had a cardiac arrest and came back and played in the same season. He's such a warrior, inspirational. That would be the narrative. But only because it's LeBron James' son, oh, the only reason he made it was because that's LeBron James' son. Like that's really lame and really insane. It just shows you how powerful the media is because those two narratives could be spent and people will just run with either one of them. But we choosing the negative one because it's easy to say. Like Chalil said, Bronny's not a bad prospect. Should he ever return? Yes. But we acting like Bronny finna be like in the top of the rotation next year. More than likely, he's going to be in the G League. He was a 55 overall pick. Those guys rarely make the roster at all. You kind of got to be exceptional. And people like to say it was because of LeBron. Did LeBron probably have something to do with it? Maybe so. But I also think it was the Lakers trying to ensure that LeBron signs a new contract with them, which is ultimately super important, the most important part of their offseason and for the next couple years that LeBron spent his last remaining years there. So I want to give congratulations to Bronny for achieving your dreams and making it to the NBA. I believe you had NBA level defense. You can work on your shot. It was there in high school. You know, you was rusty coming back in college, and you look good at the combine shooting. So if you had that 3-and-D potential, I think you can have a nice, solid, successful career, and that's what I expect. Due to the leadership of your father, who I think is the greatest player of all time. And shout out to Bronny.
No, congratulations for sure, for sure. I definitely understand that. I mean, like the both of these gentlemen said, any father in that position, I mean, especially with the cachet you have as being LeBron James, the best player in the league right now. Ultimately, he's gonna go down as one of the best players of all time. Uh, hey, I will get my son to the to the league too, no doubt.
What?
If you can do it, man. I mean, J.R. Smith got his brother a roster spot and $2 million, and he was got hobbies.
Look at Giannis, bro.
So Giannis got come on, bro. It's been time and time, and I believe Bronny's better than all of those guys that have been dragged along to the league. I mean, some people it's not about what you know, about who you know, and then once you get your foot in the door, show what you can show. Um, I think Bronny's going to be able to do that. He's a great defender. He can shoot the ball. I really think that's going to show a lot more as he develops his game in the G League. Obviously, just like these gentlemen said, I believe he should have went back to college, went to another facility, maybe not USC, a better developing basketball organization, and worked on his game. Maybe came into the league next year as a higher draft pick, maybe possibly first round, and actually showed and proved. But he can still do that now that he's actually got a roster spot. Go to the G League, develop his game with actual NBA talent developers, and show and prove. You got LeBron James as your father. I'm pretty sure you got all those different types of trainers on top of having those NBA trainers, G League trainers, guys that's putting up shots daily. Now this is your job. Show that you can do this, show that you belong here, and you can play with your dad. I'm pretty sure y'all have been complimenting your games around each other ever since the day you picked up a basketball. It'll be perfect for him. He won't have to play point guard. He'll actually have a point guard that he knows where you're going to be before he's going to be there. So it'll be great for him in his last final years, and they can have fun with it, man. This is going to be Lakers, this is what Lakers do. They have fun. It's a showtime. This is going to be something fun. I just think the negative aspect around this definitely needs to go away. And they just need to have fun with this man and just say, hey, man, a father and son hasn't been playing together since Ken Griffey Jr. and Sr. This should be celebrated, man. These are black gentlemen who worked hard on their craft. Obviously, one did this since 16, 17 years old, got drafted 18 years old, never really had a blemish on his career, and now got his son to the league and got another son coming in another 2 years. So it should be definitely celebrated for sure.
I believe, and like you said, if they was white, the story would be totally different.
Oh man,
the story would be totally different. Like this is like you said, is a historic moment. This has never happened before. Like LeBron has his son on the same team as him. Like that should be celebrated, but instead it's being attacked, and they saying, you know, basically little GM and stuff like that. Like y'all said, if I got a chance, if I was in that position and to get my son on the same team, there is no way I wouldn't be doing everything in my power. And I think anybody would do the same thing to make that happen. So, yeah, man. And let's not act before Bronny had his health situation, he was projected as a first-round pick. So for people to be mad that he went like almost down to the last pick of the second round is weird business to me. And it shows that people are just following narratives. Like he was projected as a first-round pick. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. And it was a weak draft. Like most people don't know the number one overall pick. The only people I knew in the draft was Bronny and Rob Dillingham. And Rob Dillingham. That was it for me personally. So it is what it is. And Alex Sarr, but that was doing research because that's what we do on 32 Minute Podcast.
Facts.
But yeah, that was pretty much it.
7-2 out there, though. No, most definitely. Hey, congratulations. Shout out to the Lakers. Y'all did history. I mean, and if any organization was to do it, y'all tried to up the Celtics with one and did some change in history right here. Speaking of NBA, man, we got free agency, we got big money being thrown around, we got people signed, man. Throw out some numbers, man. Who y'all seen get signed and some of their contracts? Khalil.
OG Anunoby. What was it? 5 years, $212 million. A lot of people are it kind of shocked me that a lot of people think that, you know, it's a lot of money. Put onto one player that, you know, is kind of injury prone and stuff like that. But just what he brings like defensively and being able to shoot the three ball. He can guard positions 1 through 5, literally show what he can do on the Knicks team when healthy. I'm pretty sure he had like the best plus minus from the time he got traded till the end of the season.
23 and 5.
Yep, the record. And then the way he just came in and he was able to gel with the Knicks. They went on that winning streak. Just to lock him down for 5 years and avoid him actually making it out to free agency, I think is pretty big for the Knicks, along with a couple other acquisitions, or what another acquisition they made. I feel like the Knicks are going to be pretty good. I feel like they'll actually be able to compete in the East for a good amount of years to come.
OG, big money out there in the Knicks. That boy say, I'm out here in New York for real. Any good signings you seen out there, bro?
Well, just stay on the Knicks real quick. Michael Bridges trade. Unless you want to talk about trades, like
no, we can do the same. We can do both at the same
time. So sticking with the Knicks, 5 first for Michael. I mean, you was gonna have to pay a heavy price. And then I like that secondary trade that Brooklyn did to get some of their own picks back with, you know, having to give up a lot of those Phoenix picks later in the decade. Michael, I think he's a solid fit for the Knicks, him and OG. I think they're in contention for I think they're a top 5 wing duo in the NBA at this point. Maybe even a top 3. Obviously, we're not gonna put them ahead of Tatum and Brown, NBA champions Tatum and Brown. But anybody after them is like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's saying a lot. Probably the best defensive wing duo in the league. They both can shoot, and they're both Tom Thibodeau players, meaning they never gonna come off the floor. And they're gonna
48
produce.
minutes.
Right. So I love the move for the Knicks. It's definitely an all-in move, and they still got some pieces I should say assets to make other trades if they end up losing Hartenstein, which it seemed like probably is going to happen. I still think they can go in and get a solid backup big. I don't think they need a starter with Mitchell Robinson coming back. And I think they should consider using Julius Randle as an asset to, maybe get somebody in there different at the 4 spot as far as how much they're going to command the ball, and maybe spread the wealth, maybe that's a whole nother thing. But I also think they can strengthen the bench with an acquisition like that as well. So they don't really play the bench. I digress. But I think it's a solid trade for the Knicks, and I do expect them to compete with the Celtics next year to come out of the East.
Ooh, that's tough. Come out the East. I like it. For most definitely, the Knicks made a lot of great moves this off season. Like these fellas said, signing Mikal Bridges in that trade. Five, five picks. That's crazy. For a gentleman who's never been an All-Star is ridiculous. At least Rudy Gobert had a DPOY. I think Hardenstein, should definitely be re-signed for sure. If they can find a way to make that happen and get rid of Randall, I think that'll be a more positive, because Hardenstein was electric in the playoffs towards the end of the season in that role that Mitchell Robinson was out. I like the Mitchell Robinson guy, but he's been pretty injury prone. These last few years, he's missed a lot of games. You know what I'm saying? Not really being consistent. As we say a lot on this show, the best ability is availability, and he hasn't really been available. I feel like if they can definitely get Hartenstein in there, and with Mitchell being on maybe a 2-year deal left, maybe find a way to even use him after next season and see how this one season goes with both of those guys on the floor. Maybe get rid of him and have Hartenstein come in and be that centerpiece who doesn't need to demand the ball as much, can play really good defense at the rim. Good to decent to good passer, I would say, out of that low block position. And he can bring that high energy to the Knicks that they need, especially in those young legs running the floor with the pickup of Mikal Bridges, Brunson dribbling the ball, and OG being re-signed for that big money. I'd be happy to play out there for those guys for sure. We got another small, I ain't gonna say small because 190 million. Pascal Siakam, Spicy P, re-signs with the Pacers, 4-year deal, big money, to be that co-star with Halliburton. How do y'all feel about him getting that money? You think he deserves it in his number 2 role out there in Indiana?
I'm fine with it. It's the NBA. They're evolving, obviously, for even star caliber players, let alone superstar caliber players, you're gonna have to pay that bread at this point. Regardless of what their schedule was, they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. So you got to give them their props. Pascal Siakam is a big reason and a big part of that. Because there was a point in time during the regular season that Halliburton was struggling and Siakam was helping keep them afloat. So it was Siakam, and then it was Obi Toppin, who just got a pretty nice contract. Those two really kept the Pacers afloat while Halliburton was coming back off injury. So I mean, I'm fine with him getting that bread. I mean, the Pacers needed to do what they needed to do to re-sign him. I mean, they traded for him. You wouldn't want to trade for a guy just as like a half a year rental and then have him just go elsewhere.
No, most definitely. I'm glad that he didn't slide on them and leave and gave them an opportunity, to re-sign and see what they can do with that kind of pairing. Because it kind of like him and Halliburton kind of play off each other really well. That Spicy P likes to run up and down the floor, get active in that fast break transition kind of play. So I think this is like the perfect place for him. So I think he's pretty happy he even signed that deal, let alone it being 190 million.
Yeah, I think honestly, I think they're still a piece away, even with resigning him.
Sure.
I like the deal. I'm happy for Pascal in the general when I say I like the deal because he's getting that max contract. He's getting that generational wealth. Not that he was hurting anyways, but I just like to see when the superstars get paid. I would consider him a top 20, top 25, top 20 player in the league. And so he deserves to get that money based upon the market. Market is what somebody is willing to pay you. So at the end of the day, I think, man, it's going to be hard for them to win a championship without another significant piece, especially with the Celtics, Milwaukee, and we'll got to see what somebody we might talk about if he goes to a certain team coming up. But like Khalil said, when he said that, I 100% agree with him. When he said it's fine, it's fine. I think they're going to be a fun team to watch. I think for people that are into League Pass, they'll be a great League Pass team to watch because their offense. I do love Miles Turner as a player. I think he should be working on his second or third year as a Laker at this point, but I digress. At the end of the day, they got a good coaching staff, Rick Carlisle, and they got some young talent. And we're just gonna have to see how they play out, man. I think it's a fine deal. And we just got to see. Again, I think they need one more piece, but it's a good front office.
Most definitely. Facts. Another notable name on the free agency block out here. Clippers, stating that they're not going to be having Paul George come back. 23 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists per game last year for the Clippers. Who and where would y'all like to see PG play? And would y'all think that he would be that championship piece away for that team? Khalil.
Not gonna lie, I probably would have liked to see him go to Golden State. I feel like playing with Steph Curry without having to worry. Well, without Klay Thompson there, would have been able to open his game. There's a difference between playing with Steph Curry, playing with Kawhi Leonard. They're both amazing players to play beside, but teams guard each player differently. And I feel like with teams having to focus on Steph Curry right when he crosses half court, it would have opened up so much more for Paul George and just allowed him to, kind of get into his bag a little bit more. As playing with the Clippers, he had James Harden and Kawhi Leonard who demanded to have the ball in their hands a lot or needed to. So I feel like with the Warriors, he would have been able to do his thing. I feel like the Warriors might have been a little bit of a better fit, in my opinion, than if he was to go to the 76ers. That could just be because I don't like the 76ers. But, yeah.
I feel you. B.
There's two teams that come to mind when I think about Paul George, where I think he would have been a great fit for. Well, he still could be. I guess he hasn't signed with anybody. One is out of the running. That was the Orlando Magic. I love their pickup of KCP. That was a huge pickup for them. He's gonna start for them and bring that championship pedigree. As we know, the 2-time champion KCP getting that bag. I'm surprised Denver let him go, and now they're talking about trading for Westbrook, which is insane. But I digress. I digress. I would have liked him on the Magic. Now I see, in my opinion, the best fit for him would be the Houston Rockets. Houston Rockets are 500. What happened?
No, I'm just saying that's gonna be crazy. Them young pups.
Yeah. But they getting him, Van Fleet, and a couple vets in that building. I think that's what they need. They got a chance to make the playoffs next year. I like they draft pick Reed Shepard. So Paul might take some minutes away from him and the development of a men. And Jalen, they actually got Jalen Green too. So and
Yeah,
maybe
it's a lot.
yeah, Paul if he's open to play the 3. I did like Khalil's pick of the Warriors because it do seem like they faded, but you don't want to count them boys out. You know, I counted them boys out in 2022 against the Celtics when they won the championship. So it's hard to do that. But at the end of the day, his best fit is probably where he's projected to sign at this point with the Philadelphia 76ers. They have a hole at that position, and he fits right into what they're trying to do. Another shot creator for Maxey and Maxey and Embiid. And you know, we got to see now if the 76ers, if they willing to give up Tobias Harris, and I know this ain't gonna happen with Paul George. Hey man, if you're trying to stay in LA, it's a team that just need talent in general. And we trying to shoot threes. I don't know if y'all saw JJ Redick press conference, but he made that very clear. Speaking of which, JJ Redick. But at the end of the day, I think he'll be a great fit on the Rockets or 76ers.
Nah, most definitely I'm with these guys. When I was hearing about the whole Paul George leaving the Clippers out, first team popped up in my head was the Warriors for sure. That's a perfect fit, especially with hearing Clay wants out. He wants a new fit. We'll probably get on him next just to see where, you know, these guys are going think where they would think he would be. But PG, I think his best perfect fit would be in Philly. Young emerging star and Tyrese Maxey demands a lot of attention. A lot, especially now that he's on a lot of people's radar as a young up and coming star. I don't think he's hit that superstar level yet, but he's definitely a star in this league, and he's coming. I can definitely see it. And PG would definitely be that piece that can definitely help him out and push him over that board, and also help Embiid with his mentality of dedicating himself to the game. I think Embiid is a wonderful player, but he's always unhealthy, out of shape. Well, eating unhealthy, out of shape, and not being prepared for basketball. He tries to play himself in shape during the season, and that's something that you really can't do if you want to be a champion. Obviously, if you want to just be a great player and get your get your accolades, you know, win your MVPs, scoring titles, whatever you want, hey, just do you fine because they're gonna pay you. They're gonna pay you regardless. You're a good about top 5, top 10 in this league. They're gonna pay you. But if you really want to be a champion, you want to play the game the right way. You want to take yourself to that next level and be those legends and put your name in that upper echelon. You're gonna have to dedicate yourself to the game. And I feel like Embiid with Paul George and Maxey, they could definitely do it. And I would say definitely get rid of Tobias Harris. Oh, my fault.
No, I cut you off. I apologize. I cut you off. Like, I just don't know if Podcast P is the one that should be giving that message to Joel Embiid. Like, I don't know. I don't know if Playoff P side of the backboard. I don't know if he's be like giving them messages, but hey, we gonna see, man. Yeah, he ain't been healthy. He hasn't performed in the playoffs.
Yeah. Hey, last year he played 70+ games.
What, last year?
Last year he played 70+ games.
Wasn't he hurt in the first round, or am I tripping?
No, I think he was.
I think yeah. No, he
I'm pretty
played.
sure. I'm pretty dead. I think he might have played a few games in the first round. I think.
Yeah, I think he played 2 games in the first round, and then
I
he
think
got hurt.
most of the first round though he was up out of there.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
He played 2, but he played 72 games in the season. Well, 70-some games, 70+ games, I would say, in the season.
because I
Obviously,
thought them boys be low managing.
nah, he played a lot of games. Kawhi was the one. He played only like 63 to 65 games this year.
That's phenomenal for Kawhi.
Exactly. But I think if they get rid of Tobias, because I think he's he's in his head. I don't think he's I don't say he should be out of the league. I think he just need to get himself. I think he need to get himself together because oh man, he's been sad a lot of these last couple years, and I don't know. I think it was that Ben Simmons passed to him under the rim that messed him up. He passed the bad juju to him.
I think it was the contract. Like if he had
that money,
what happened?
then the money did something to him.
I don't think he's a bad player. I think people look at him like he's a trash or bad player because of the amount of money he's getting paid. He's either getting a near max or a max
I don't care
deal.
about the money. He's just trash.
Oh, you think Tobias is he's just washed?
These last 3 to 3.5 years.
Yeah, 76ers made a
He's
mistake.
just been just paying them the money. I get your money. I don't care about the money. I ain't gonna never hate on nobody for getting their money. I don't care if you were, you know what I'm saying, me out there trying to be in the NBA. I know I can't at 5'9" try to go out there. But hey, if you get paid, get paid. But
No,
you're
from a
trash.
performance perspective. Okay, yep, there we go.
You're trash. You're what you say your son say, dog water? You're dog water.
No, for what he's getting paid, I could probably use the word trash for. And especially I think most people think he's trash just because, like I said, 76ers decided to pay Tobias Harris instead of Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, that too.
And Jimmy Butler is just one of those players that if he was on the 76ers, he just automatically brings that dog mentality, that toughness, and he would have had all them players in line. And I'm pretty sure 9 times out of 10, the 76ers would have had a deep playoff run within the past couple years if he was there.
At least a conference championship.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? At least a conference championship. Come on, man.
A conference championship.
A conference final, I mean. Yeah.
Paul George,
appearance. They have been.
Paul George played in 6 games in the playoffs.
Okay. So he played in every game then.
Yeah.
I think they got out of there in 6 games.
Yeah.
Okay. My bad, PG. But
he was playing them games, man. That boy played.
74 games this season. 74 games.
70+ games. He did his thing this year, man. So, man. But I definitely can see him. You know, like I said, get rid of Tobias Harris. Yeah, they got some money. They really they're really in a great position this year. They have some money that they can do some things amongst getting PG if they were to get him and actually build a championship roster, a wonderful coach, and actually try to push this thing and try to win a championship and compete with Boston. Any other things I got to put on PG?
Not Paul George, nah.
You be?
I'm good on PG. I just want to see because I know the Clippers they re-signed Harden to a 2-year deal, and like I said earlier, they're actively in trade talks for Westbrook to the Nuggets. Ended up trading Reggie Jackson to the Hornets. So I want to see what the Clippers do. I think they're going in a new direction. Actually picked up Kevin Porter Jr., who I never thought would touch an NBA court again. But I digress. If you got talent, hey,
he can score the ball in spurts, man. I think if he can get consistent, I think his problem is consistency in the NBA.
His problem putting his hands on females.
That too.
Not funny at all.
On the basketball perspective of the game, his problem is consistency, and
for sure.
The other part is his mental health. Get that brother right, and Yeah, get him on the court. I want to see him on the court because he has talent.
Yeah.
Another
I think he
gentleman.
can be elite six man.
Yeah,
like
I think he
be
can as well. He can shoot the ball.
Yeah,
he can really shoot the ball, catch and
He
shoot.
definitely got a scoring bag. He definitely got a bag.
I mean, if he can become a decent defender, I mean, you can put him on the floor for sure.
I don't see him ever becoming a good defender. Just because,
not good, decent.
Yeah,
Stay in
I
front
just
of your
don't see
man.
him. I don't see him as a good defender in a individual or a team scheme. I think his primary thing is what he does. Like I think at his ceiling, he could be like a Jordan Clarkson, Malik Monk style player, which is still a super valuable player.
Malik Monk just got that bag.
Yeah. I think he could have probably got more from somewhere else, but I get it. He wants to stay somewhere where he can get a lot of minutes, get a lot of shots, and they believe
Kentucky brothers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kentucky brothers out there with him and De'Aaron Fox.
Mm-hmm.
They came out to college together, so hey, they said they're gonna play together, you know what I'm
saying?
Yeah. We got I think another like I said, the Clippers, y'all you talking about if they pick up DeMar DeRozan, you know, hometown kid, bring him out to LA, that can be a nice little bit less scoring as from PG, but a lot more defense in that role of DeMar DeRozan if he would have come to the Clippers and being a nice running mate with Kawhi. If you know that man can play 60-some games again, that'll be immaculate.
You said defense.
Hey, that boy can play some decent defense.
Man.
I'm saying.
They'll get consistent scoring nights from him. He's always been consistent scoring.
I say playmaking too.
Playmaking too. He can play some decent defense. I ain't saying he defense playmaking defense DPOY at all. First team on defense.
Back.
Yeah, bring the mid range. You know what I'm saying? Slow the game down. Play some nice half court defense. You good to go.
Man, no.
Kawhi bring him over. Kawhi bring him over. You know, you bring that blitz trap. You know what I'm saying? He's by what 6'6", 6'7", decent size.
Well, only finna be bringing them over for about 30, 40 games a season.
It would.
Hey, we need as many games they can.
Not clutch too. I like DeMar as a nice replacement too in the clutch. We know he could score in the clutch and keep them in close games. So definitely, I think that'll be a nice pick for DeMar. Really? Well, I'll say that. But yeah, I think it's a nice pick for DeMar as well.
Yeah, and coming back home to LA, you know what I'm saying? That'll be dope for him.
Yeah.
Klay Thompson, man. Obviously I don't think it's bad terms. I think it's just different roads at a crossroads, and the Warriors don't want to re-sign him, and he doesn't want to re-sign with the Warriors. Moving on, where do y'all think would be a nice landing spot for Klay Thompson in his future endeavors in the NBA? B.
Honestly, I think it's disrespectful for the Warriors to be doing what they're doing, lowballing the guy. I get it. They did play him when he was hurt for 2 years straight, and we didn't see him. So I get that element of it. But he's still a franchise icon, franchise cornerstone. When Draymond and Steph get their statue out there, Klay's going to get one. So one could probably say it came to this end of the road. But a part of me still think it's kind of disrespectful how they treat him. Everywhere that I said Paul George could go, I think Klay Thompson fits the same exact role. Again, I've heard that, I saw a report, I don't know if it's true, about LeBron willing to take a pay cut in order to get a veteran established player added to the Lakers. Hey, Klay, bruh, listen, holla at him, please.
Your pops play for the Lakers, bro.
Yeah, hey, listen, you gonna get shots. We gonna orchestrate you, get you open. You got JJ Redick, run off the screens. Maybe JJ can get out there and practice and teach him how to. You ain't got to teach Klay. Klay above JJ.
Yeah.
With all due respect.
Yeah. 5 dribbles, 55 at some point.
Yeah.
It's more of
So, hey, Clay, I think you'd be an awesome fit on the Lakers. You're going to get your shots. That'll enable us to put Austin Reeves as the point guard. And I just love to see that, man. Your father played for the Lakers. I still think he does some work with the Lakers, but, that was a couple of years ago. But I think he's a perfect fit for the Lakers. Besides the Lakers fandom situation, I think he'd be great for whatever team don't get PG because I think they're going to play a similar type of role. He'd be great on the 76ers as well.
Facts. See.
I just want to first say, we know Klay Thompson ain't had the year that we know he can have in the years that he's had in the past. But he's coming off like 2 injuries in 2 straight years. People got to remember, he's human. As somebody that's not going to be, even if he's good to play, it's still something that he has to work back towards getting back to himself. Like Brodrick said, I kind of feel like the Warriors kind of, kicked him to the curb without really trying to give him that chance to redeem himself. As if Steph Curry would have had a down year and it was his contract year, I guarantee you they would have gave Steph Curry the money that he wanted. But another team's trash is another team's treasure. I believe Klay Thompson is still an elite level player, especially when it comes to shooting and scoring the ball. And he'll just add that veteran presence. He's tough. He has that dog mentality as well. I feel like he'd fit well with a team like the Magic, a young up-and-coming team. You've seen, Franz and Paolo struggling at times. I feel like Klay Thompson can help get their mental right. I feel like he can help kind of lead the ship and just kind of keep it straightened out and everything. With the addition of what KCP, I think he signed with the Magic as well. You bring both of those guys in, I think, as far as the Magic season goes, I see another playoff season with them. I see some high-level play, and I believe they'll be in a lot of games. But I definitely feel like the Magic would probably be the best fit for him as far as like a mentoring role and, coming back in, being able to start right away, do his thing, still, get his shots up as he has Franz Wagner and Paolo Banchero have proven that they can be playmakers for the team. I feel like that's a good fit.
No, most definitely, man. I agree with both of these gentlemen. Klay Thompson is still a high-level elite player in this NBA game, and you got to realize he had, like Will said, injuries these last 2-3 years. Klay Thompson's off, quote-unquote, off season, still averaged about 18 points, shooting about 40-some% from the field, which is great. He gets himself back together. He can get back in that 20 to 20-something point range. He is still elite shooter of the ball. There's a lot of great teams that he can play for. Klay Thompson does not need the ball in his hands. He can play with an assortment of different talent in the league, whether it's the Lakers, Bucks, where I think he would be a wonderful pick in playing off of Giannis and Damian Lillard. And he was pretty hurt last year and coming off that injury and being better this year. He'd be a great fit down there. But Klay is that seeming player that can play anywhere. He's that 2 times, 3 times better Mike Miller, who can shoot the ball really, really well and put the ball in the hole at a high clip. I think he's going to be a wonderful player outside of the Warriors and try to show them that, hey, I can still win a championship and probably try to win one before they win another one.
I think Klay Thompson could possibly be on some villain arc type situation.
Yeah.
But I think he could make, because what I was going to say is, like you mentioned the Bucks, I literally was going to say that, like the Bucks or the Miami Heat, like I think he can go to a team, possibly even the Denver Nuggets. I don't think they got
that'd be
gymnastics
worse
there, but it'd be like, I think he could do it though, in the sense of like he could be on some villainous type behavior, like, okay, where I go, I'm gonna put them over the top type situation. They're one of the best teams in the league. So
yeah, he's gonna be willing to take that little bit of less money just to do that.
Klay Thompson, he's definitely like a missing championship team piece. Definitely.
Because he's got money. He ain't hurting off money. That man been getting
Yeah.
paid from the Warriors for
Yeah.
sure. So I feel like he's that, like you said, that villainous type role. Take
Yeah.
a little bit of less money just to spite them if I win another championship.
Yeah.
Now I got another championship without y'all, and y'all didn't pay me. Oh, y'all gonna never live this down, and it'll be in history of y'all got rid of y'all championship piece, and he won one without y'all.
Yeah, and Calais hasn't. I mean, he's a California guy, so there's plenty of teams in Cali that could use him. I mean, obviously, the
Kings.
Clippers, Kings, well, really
Lakers.
mainly those two: Clippers, Kings.
OKC could use him.
OKC could use him. OKC could use him. Ant plays that position. If he's open to the three, I think that'll open up his opportunities. And we know with the league going positionless that he's willing to play. So even if he talked about playing a 6-man role during this season, I don't think that's going to be the situation. But obviously, if he were to do that, he'd probably be the best 6-man in the league. Even the Indiana Pacers would be a nice supercharged pickup for them. So there's a lot of ways that he can go in his villain arc if that's what he chooses to do.
Yeah, I can definitely see that Bucks or Miami Heat for sure. Just so he can really embrace that villainous role. Because I mean, Klay, we've all seen Klay Thompson interviews. He has that sarcastic level of comedic comedy gold, and I just love it from him.
He could fit with the Mavericks.
Mavs.
He could fit in with the Mavericks too, low-key.
Hey, he don't need the ball in his hands. He can fit anywhere. He just needs to put the ball up, which he can do.
I was going to ask how y'all feel about the DeJounte Murray trade.
DeJounte Murray to Pelicans.
Yeah. Trade with the Hawks. I think the Hawks got back. That's my cat, y'all. Dyson Daniels, 2 firsts, and some Larry Nance Jr. And I think one more asset, maybe a 2nd-round pick for DeJounte. How y'all feel about that one?
You go for that.
You go, Byron.
I kind of, yeah. Well, I kind of talked to you guys about it a little bit. I just feel like in order for DeJounte Murray to come in and work with the Pelicans, they got to either get rid of Brandon Ingram or CJ McCollum. Because, I mean, Zion Williamson's your star. The ball has to be in his hands. DeJounte Murray requires the ball to be in his hands. Then you got CJ McCollum who likes the ball in his hands, as well as Brandon Ingram.
Yeah.
So that's a lot. Like I said, that's a lot of ball to have to be shared. So I think in order for it to work, they do have to trade somebody. But if they are able to trade somebody, I'd preferably probably trade, I want to say, CJ McCollum, because I feel like him and DeJounte Murray kind of play that same role. But he definitely, he's a great scorer, good defender. He give you a triple-double, good rebounder at the guard position. He can play make for you. I like the pickup. It's just more of trying to fit the pieces together so it works.
Now I'm with Khalil. I mean, I like the pickup for them. I'm more on the other end of getting my Dookie guy out of there, man. And BI, getting him in a different situation, get him in a fresh start. Not saying that he's garbage or anything. I feel like just him in a better situation could actually highlight his talents a lot better. And keeping that playmaking in CJ will be something great. And having him and another vet in now DeJounte and being able to help them close the games a lot better. With their with Zion, playing a lot more better, getting healthier, and hopefully, for the foreseeable future, being in the playoffs and trying to push for the playoffs and being that kind of team that's in the West, fighting for future years in this league. But I definitely could see the Pelicans making a lot more better trades with what they got after this, and like I said, getting rid of BI will definitely bring in those picks or different players to pair with Zion, DeJounte, and CJ.
Um, and I agree with both of y'all, fellas, except for one point. Khalil said um, he thinks they should get rid of CJ. I think it's time for CJ to transition to that 6-man role, and you kind of got to get rid of BI, because I think now you want to see as a starters what can Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, DeJounte, Zion could do as a grouping right there. And hopefully they just drafted a nice center prospect in the NBA draft as far as everything I heard about him. But I think they could pick up somebody different at a center position in free agency. But like Khalil said, though, what I am agreeing on, Zion was at his best when he had the ball in his hands. It seems like his best role might be that point forward role. And it's just, pause, a lot of balls that need to be shared. So getting BI out of there, and I hate to say that because that sounds kind of disrespectful. I actually think BI would be a great fit for a team like the Spurs. So I do think he could still go somewhere and shine. It's a little bit late in his career for us to be talking about potential at this point.
For sure.
So I'm not gonna say he is what he is. I just don't think he's been placed in the best positions to succeed. But at the same time, BI, he got his own vices. You're not gonna get incredible defense out of him, but you're gonna get a consistent offensive player, and he won a max contract. So that's a whole nother situation. I think that's the real reason why they, it's trade rumors out there, to be quite honest. So we got to see how it goes. I threw out the Spurs. Who y'all think would be a good landing spot for BI if they ultimately choose to trade him?
Me personally, the Kings. I think he's, like you said, he's a lot later in his career, a little bit more than those guys like De'Aaron Fox, Monk. Just a little bit more. And he'll definitely be a nice scoring talent for Fox. He's a downhill player. Opposite of Monk, he plays the 3, so Monk can play the 2, and great shooting on the wings. Elevate his defense maybe just a little bit more than what he already is. I mean, the tall, lanky guys about 6'8", 6'9". Wonderful team already. I believe the guy's name Kenyon Martin.
Keegan Murray.
Keegan Murray. There you go. The emergence of Keegan Murray, being a wonderful shooter, great defensive player, that he is. I think he'd be a wonderful piece for them.
Let's see. I honestly think they probably could have tried to get a trade with him for the Hawks if we were talking about trading him. The Hawks, I feel like, could have probably been a decent fit for him. Just you got Trae Young, you have some developing young players coming up. But they did go the route where they drafted who was it, Alex Starr or something like that, or was it not Alex Starr, the other Zaric. Can't remember his last name, but yeah, so you have it there.
And they got Jalen Johnson too. He stepped up and played.
I want to say maybe the Cavs. We look at the Cavaliers.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
You got Donovan Mitchell, who we don't know if he's staying or going. With all the moves that are going on, it's looking a lot like he's probably going to wind up staying. And then you got Darius Garland. There's teams that they have to build off of. He can come in and play that small forward position. And he's very lanky as well, even though he's not one of the he's a decent defender. He could definitely be elite with his wingspan and size. But then you have Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, 2 good defenders. I feel like with them, they can kind of, go back to that Syracuse 2-3 zone back when Carmelo was in college. And I feel like just Donovan Mitchell, he will complement Donovan Mitchell's scoring as BI as a 3-level scorer. He can kind of take some of that scoring load off of Donovan Mitchell that the Cavs were missing this year. So yeah.
I'd love to see him like on a team like the Mavericks. I was gonna say the Timberwolves, but I know they just paid Jaden McDaniels, and they love what they got in him, and I love Jaden too. But then it transitioned to the Mavericks. Like I think he'd be a solid pickup at the 3 for them. I really can't tell y'all who start for them at the 3. I think it's all right then. So yeah, so it's exactly right there. With all due respect, I like Green. I think his name is Josh Green. I don't want to mess up his name. I like him as a prospect, but I think he's more of a great role player off the bench. So you got Luka, Kyrie, and Bi. That'll make them more explosive on the offensive end. Yeah, so I think the Mavericks be a nice little pickup for them. I'm not sure what they can offer. I hate for them to lose somebody. I don't think the Mavericks could really offer much, but we got to see what his market is gonna be. If he doesn't end up going to a team like the Heat or the Rockets or a team like that, the Pistons, those
He's
types
looking
of
at
stuff.
about whatever, I'll say either a little under or somewhere close to what Pascal got in the 190.
You think he's worth that? I mean, it's what the market is willing to pay you. But
yeah, I think he's about one. I say I would give him, me personally, if I was an organization with that kind of bread, I'd give him about 160, 165.
I think if that was on it, I don't think he would take it.
Probably not, but that's what I'm giving.
That's what I think is trade rumors.
He probably sees himself as a Pascal Siakam type of player.
Yeah.
You know how people be, but
I said the closest maybe we can get to is 170.
The only organizations that are going to be willing to pay that are like the lower level organizations.
Right.
So at this point in his career, I think he needs to sacrifice money to try, get a ring, win a championship, at least get a deep playoff run, something.
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely needs that for sure. Hey, try to go to the Warriors, take that cut.
Hey man, if I gotta play for the Hornets to get my full max, that's what you gotta do, man.
Hey, I go play with LaMelo Ball. I go play with LaMelo Ball.
And Brandon Miller as well. They got what's his name? It's something Bridges. Miles Bridges.
Yeah, he on the block too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
He a free agent.
Should be on the sale block. But
most definitely. I heard rapping.
Yeah, he's snapping on rapping.
Nah, that boy dog water.
Pretty snapping.
That boy dog water. That Darren Waller song was better than his.
Nah,
you tripping?
Darren Waller in that junk using auto-tune.
That boy was jigging. Hey, when you seen that man ex-wife, you'll be making songs too.
What?
He left her.
I know. That's what I'm saying. He's crazy.
He left her, bro.
Hey, let us know. I think it'd be a fine topic. We talk about the best athlete rappers. Obviously, none of these guys are. Well, Dame is good, in my opinion.
Shaq.
Dame is good. Trash. But
don't do Shaq like that.
Shaq more of like a funny type of rapper, bro.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
That's really what that is.
That be in the club.
Yeah. Now Dame. We might do a video. That might be a segment on the later video.
Dame Dollar.
Yeah, Dame snapping. Dame snapping. Amon, he's straight.
That man just died in the shot. R.I.P.
Who?
Amon
Shumpert?
It's a show, bro. It's a show. It ain't real life. It's a show.
Boy.
Yeah, it's a show.
Causing heart attacks on 30-12.
He was in it's a TV show called The Shot. He just got lit up. I just watched that episode earlier today.
Damn.
Okay.
Hey, it is what it is, bro. Damn.
Hey,
that sucks
it's
though.
The Shot.
Yeah. Hey, what smaller deals?
You got Chris Paul to the Spurs.
Yeah.
Which I feel like
Paul to the Spurs. Yeah. How you feel about that?
More than likely. I like it because, it brings that veteran presence. He's been around the league long. He knows the game. IQ still high. I feel like he can still play at a high level. Not gonna say elite level, but he can still play at a high level. And the Spurs have been looking for a point guard. You know, they were experimenting all last year. Chris Paul brings that true point guard ability. I feel like it's gonna help Wemby develop as well into even more. Yeah.
He ain't Chris Paul no more. He Cliff Paul. But still pretty good out here, you know. Cliff Paul's gonna do his thing, gonna dish the ball, get Wemby acclimated into this NBA even more, help him get that dog roll in him to elevate the Spurs to a wonderful high playoff contention level. And I think, you know, it's gonna be great for all parties because then you get Chris Paul, who's a wonderful player coach himself, with one of the greatest coaches to ever do it in pop, and to be that extension of him on the court would even be better. So I think they're going to be pretty decent in a great position in the upcoming future.
I think this is an example of a player chasing a bag. 11 million, he probably wasn't gonna get that from nobody else. And this is Chris Paul admitting that he's fine retiring without a ring. I expect the Spurs to be improved, but at the same time, if they have Trey Jones and they just drafted Stephen Castle, who wants to play point guard at number 4 overall. So I don't really see the Chris Paul fit. I know Pop wants to move the ball. Chris Paul needs the ball in his hand. So, excuse me. It is about the bread, in my opinion, which I ain't going against. But I would have liked to see Chris Paul probably be the new backup point guards for a team like the Nuggets, possibly even a return to the Suns. Just multiple other situations where I think he would have been a better fit. Of course, he's going to mentor the young players on the roster, but this is him clearly admitting, A, it's probably his last year in the league, and B, he's fine without winning a championship with his legacy for what it is. So I think Chris Paul probably going to go down as, if not the best player, probably a top 5 player to never win a championship. So,
yeah. I can co-sign with that for sure to say that, because Chris Paul, I mean, when you've been deemed the point guard of the NBA for so long of the league, I mean, he's just been the best point guard in the sense of passing the balls, facilitating, being that floor general. CP has been the highest of the high at that position.
What do y'all feel about Cade possibly getting the max from the Pistons? Cade Cunningham.
They had to do it. I think it was just a position that they had to do. I mean, it was his time.
Okay.
He hasn't shown. I don't say he's trash or anything. I just say he hasn't shown anything. But it was just his time. He had to get paid.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't shown anything in the league, but he hasn't also shown that he is trash.
I feel like it was more of they spent the number 1 pick on him, so they got to have faith. I mean, sometimes it takes guys a little bit more time to develop in the league. Not like he's bad. He's shown the flashes that he can be elite. It's just he needs to get more constant with what he's doing. Because at some games he's just like non-existent. He's just out there, if I'm being honest. And I know this personally because I used to bet on him a lot in prize picks. So, you know, I was mad at him a lot of the times. But you know, he has the intangibles to be elite. It's just more of he needs to find what makes him to what he can do consistently. He can pass the ball pretty good.
Yeah.
Probably needs to work on his 3-point shooting a little bit more. That would open up a lot more for him. And then who sees, maybe as hopefully the Pistons develop more players or get some major signings, maybe that'll open up a lot more for him and he can show his true potential, reach his true potential.
I think he's in a Michael Bridges type situation, like what I talked about earlier. The other dudes around him is just real sorry, with all due respect. So I don't think he's getting a chance to show everything because I think he could be an elite passer in the NBA if he had more talented and higher IQ teammates. I like Jalen Duran. I liked it Jaden Ivey as a prospect. I think they were sizing him playing Killian Hayes over him last year.
Yeah.
I like Ashur. So they got a few pieces there that I really like that I think could grow into good NBA players. But he just don't got the talent around him. They just hired JB Bickerstaff. I believe that was today. I think he's a decent coach. So we got to see how that plays out. But yeah, I don't know if he's worth the max yet, but I get it. You got to pay somebody, and nobody really ain't trying to come to Detroit right now. So
you gotta spend that money.
Yeah, it is what it is. So, but that's all the NBA probably right there. The big one.
No, well, he got Bam Adebayo, but
he got an extension.
It was like a 3-year, 166 something. It was 3 years something.
Yeah, I think it was like 160 something. But
Jimmy
yeah, he definitely
not
deserves
sign an extension.
You think he's gonna leave?
Who?
Well, he said that he's gonna play out this year and not sign an extension. Even if he gets traded, he's not gonna sign no extension with no team or with the Heat. So he's gonna be unrestricted next year.
Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect, especially him going to what, about 36.
I feel like
35,
him staying on the him staying on the Heat and resigning after this year depends on what the Heat do and how they're looking. I do feel like they probably need to try to trade Tyler Hero and get something back. As you see that they're putting their money in the Bam Adebayo, I feel like they kind of made their decision with who they want to, their young star that they want to back behind the Heat. And he's a great player. Bam Adebayo is. He's probably been the most consistent Heat player. In that regards, as Tyler Hero, he just disappears in those big moments.
Really?
Especially with the merge of the rookie. The rookie played great this year.
Yami. Yeah.
Yeah. The rookie played great.
Tyler Hero will probably give you 5 straight games of 25 plus, and then he'll disappear for a few games, go back to giving you about 3-4 games of 20, get laid back again. Could have been that his injury, but I'm just going off of what I see.
I respect it.
That's how you can get rid of him, keep the rookie. You know what I'm saying? Y'all already Bam.
You can get good pieces, good trade value. He has good trade value.
Yeah, decent, very decent.
So,
and I think the draft next year is going to be a lot stronger compared to this one.
I think they should trade Jimmy. If you're going to trade somebody, just because I don't think Tyler under a max deal, and Jimmy, he's getting a little bit older. I think they know they're not going to win a championship next year.
But that's the championship piece.
Huh?
That is the championship. That's the drive. That's the engine.
It is, but I think at a certain time you gotta get out of that middle ground of mediocrity. I don't think you're gonna win a championship, but you're not good enough to. I mean, they barely made the playoffs last year. Like they barely made the playoffs. So,
but when Jimmy hurt though,
they deal with a lot of injuries throughout the year. Like throughout the past years, they've been dealing with a lot of injuries. But I get what you're saying. You're saying though.
He's not getting any younger though. Is my point.
Oh, yeah.
Even if they was healthy, you never know because the Heat when they get in the playoffs somehow they miraculously do stuff that's out of body. But
and I feel like Jimmy's the reason of that. Like no matter, I don't feel like no matter how, like if you say that the age doesn't matter with Jimmy, it's because he is that drive. I would take him over Tyler because Tyler's not gonna give me that same drive to make us okay with you getting rid of Jimmy and keeping Tyler. You're maybe a first round exit. Maybe a first round exit. With Jimmy, you know you're a finals possibility. With the last 3-4 years making the
the East, there's teams in the East that have gotten like significantly better since the Heat made their finals run.
Facts. But I mean, who do you think you're better with?
I don't see the Heat getting like healthy team versus healthy team. The Heat's probably like 9th, 10th best team in the East. Like as healthy teams stack up.
Damn.
Like they're a play-in team. I'll say that. I'll say they're probably like a play-in type playoff team.
Hey, you see
I
what
would
they
have to
did
agree with that, to be
last
honest.
time.
I just feel like I was mainly talking about it from a value perspective.
Yeah.
I think you get more
Okay.
for Jimmy, obviously, from a business perspective than you can get for Tyler, even though he's younger. I think he's on a more affordable contract. Then you could be players in free agency and in a draft, which all the experts and scouts are saying this next draft has a bunch of dudes who can be all NBA level players, headlined by Cooper Flag and stuff like that. So,
yeah.
And the two guys who just went to Rutgers, I can't remember the name of the top of my head.
Harper and Bailey, right? Ace Baldwin or something.
Something like that.
Something like that.
So it's a lot of foundational projections for next year's draft. And you could, if the Heat trade Jimmy and they just led by Bam and Tyler, they're not making the playoffs. So at the end of the day, and you can use not only your own selection, but the picks that you would get hypothetically from the Jimmy Butler trade. And I think that'll set them up to, get a top probably 6 or 7 pick in the upcoming draft, which they seem to need because the Heat, they've been on the mediocrity mill, meaning they don't have high-level prospects, nor do they got a player that can lead you to a championship as the best player. I respect Jimmy. He's got them to the finals, but we all knew what was going to happen when they run up against LeBron and AD in the bubble, and we knew what was going to happen when they ran up against the Nuggets. They don't have the best player on the floor in every situation. You're typically going to win the finals unless you're the Warriors with KD. If you don't have the best player, if you do have the best player on the floor, obviously LeBron was the best player, but you still had MVP Steph. KD was still playing at the MVP level. That was an aberration. So at the end of the day, yeah, that's kind of how I feel about Jimmy. It wasn't like on a disrespectful type of tip. It was more so looking at it from a business perspective type situation.
Hey, and I understand 100%. No matter what these gentlemen going, these gentlemen getting paid. So hey.
Thanks.
Any other notable trades, pickups, signings that you gentlemen want to talk about?
Not that I could think of. I tried to check to see if anything else went down, but I didn't see anything. So
if there's anything y'all felt like we missed, y'all get in the comments. Let us know how y'all feel or anything that we discussed. Let us know who y'all think. Well, by the time this come out, the team that Paul George picks, do y'all think it was a good decision? Klay Thompson, do y'all think his decision was good? What are y'all thoughts about everything that's went on, even the Chris Paul situation? Would y'all be okay chasing a bag and not having a ring ultimately? I would when you're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars or even millions of dollars, 1 million. But at the end of the day, some people are motivated by different things, especially these filthy rich athletes. So I feel like Chris Paul don't need the money high key. Like, I ain't gonna re-ass on it, but it's like, I ain't checking his bank account, but I know them commercials. I know he getting that bag, and I know he didn't got the bag like a couple times with the max contracts.
Man, could have took.
But I think it's for the future endeavors. That's what it is.
Yeah,
it's for the future endeavors. He's going. We're gonna see Chris Paul somewhere.
He a businessman, so
yeah, he's a businessman. We're gonna see Chris Paul somewhere, probably owning a team, coaching a team, doing something with being a businessman.
Yeah,
that's why he need that extra 11 million.
I think Chris Paul gonna be a coach in the league. Like I can see
that for sure. Oh man,
I think Chris Paul gonna be a coach. But
for sure. No, man, it's been a great episode, man. Episode Big 6-0. Hey, man, it's been a great couple months. Y'all been with us, man. Hit the like, subscribe button, hit the noti bell, and tap in with 3012 in it, man. We got all the information you need.
For sure. Second all that.